2621XM.
Yes.
So this is the 2621XM router. Okay.
All right.
And if you want to create multiple copies, you can click on it and press Control key from your keyboard,
All right.
and you can keep multiple, you can create multiple copies. Or otherwise, you can just take another 2621
Mm-hmm.
and you can put it here.
All
So
right.
as per your wish, whichever you think is suitable, you can do like that. Okay.
Okay.
So there are three routers. This left one is the headquarter, the head office router,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is branch one, this is branch two, this is branch three. So I think you know how to create notes or comments. You know that,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going about giving the comments as BR1, BR2,
Yes.
and
Yes. No
BR3.
problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So we need to connect two PCs and one server, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm clicking on the desktop part, and here I'm taking one PC, and again I'm taking another PC. Okay. And for server, I'm taking one server from here. Now, so here is some concepts like if you have not gone through the fundamentals of networking, do you know which cables are used to connect a router with another router, and which cables are used to connect one router with another switch?
For connecting to routers, we'll be using the serial DC connections.
Okay,
Yeah, and for that also, we first need to configure the router, as in to add the WICT 1T for the ports. Otherwise, we won't get that serial connections. And for connecting to dissimilar devices, I think we use the cross cable most probably. And for connecting the no, for connecting to dissimilar devices, we use the straight cable, and for
correct,
similar devices, we use the cross cable.
correct. So here, like this is your topology that you have sent me in lab
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
So here, the branch one is connected with a Ethernet link. Okay.
Okay.
So it is connected with the Ethernet link, and we can see like in branch one, the FA01 port is being configured as the WAN port of the
Yes.
branch
Yes.
one router. And in headquarter, since it is connected with three branches, so the FA0 by 1 interface of the headquarter router is connected with branch 1, but serial interface 1 by 0 is connected with 1 by 0 of branch 2, and serial interface 1 by 1 is connected with serial interface 1 by 1 of branch 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So the thing is, though this picture is very unclear,
Yes.
so
Yes.
what I have to do is I have to take a notepad and I have written them so that it makes easier for me. So can you see this notepad?
Yes. Yes.
So this is the thing that I have jotted out from your diagram, that the FA 0 by 1 interface is having this IP,
Okay.
and in the headquarter router, and AC serial 1 by 0 is having this IP,
Okay.
and serial 1 by 1 is having this IP. So this is as per the diagram.
Hmm.
We can configure it other way also. We can use AC
Yes. Yes.
1 by 2, 1 by 3, and all this.
Yes. Yes.
But before that, one thing I would like to share is like this model, this particular router model that we have taken, 2621XM.
Hmm.
So if you keep your mouse cursor here, you can see it is only having two interfaces,
Two interfaces. Yeah.
fast Ethernet 0 by 0 and 0 by 1.
Yes. Yeah.
So how you are getting the serial interface? Do you have any idea?
Yes, we can click on that and go to the configure part, and then we can add a WIC1T port.
So this is the physical,
Yes, in the physical part only. Yeah.
yeah. So if I zoom in, so here they have already mentioned that we need to connect this module NM4A by S.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay. Now one thing is like in case of actual routers also, we need to power off the router
Power
when
of the router.
we
Yes.
add on some card.
Yes.
So here is a switch, as you can see. So I
Hmm.
need to click on this switch. So right now it is powered off.
Mm-hmm.
So now I will add on this card here. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
and this blank portion, though it is not mentioned, but you can give some cover like WIC cover here, another WIC cover here. Okay, so this I'm doing in router 0, the first router that I
First
have
route.
taken, that is the
Yeah.
headquarter router.
Mm-hmm.
And probably you know how to change the host name of router.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, so that those things you can take care.
Sure. Sure.
So the same thing I have to copy in all these three routers, so that
Okay.
will take time. So what I'm doing is I'm deleting these three. Since I have attached that module in this
Mm-hmm.
first router, so I will copy that
Okay. All right.
to save time. So these are the three routers. So the top one is branch 1, this is branch 2, and this is branch 3. So now if I keep my mouse cursor on these routers or routers, you can see the interfaces have increased.
Mm-hmm.
There are serial interfaces in all these
Yes.
routers. So now regarding connectivity, so I have to check the diagram. So here FA0 by 1 of head office router is being connected with FA0 by 1 of branch 1. Okay.
Okay.
So since both are similar type of device, so we need
Mm-hmm.
to use cross cable.
Cross.
So I will click on the connection, and here I will take the crossover cable, and I will click on this router, and then FA0 by 1 should be connected with FA0 by 1. So this is the first connection with branch 1. Now for
Mm-hmm.
branch 2, I need to look into this interface. So here it is AC 1 by 0 is connected with AC 1 by 0 of branch 2. So
Okay.
AC 1 by 0 I have to connect. So here you can see there are two cables. One is serial DCE and another is DTE. Do you know the difference
Yeah.
between the two?
Difference as in I know that in the serial DC we set the clock rate, whereas in DT we don't need to do that.
But what is the full form of DCE and DTE?
That I forgot actually.
Okay. And is there any specification that where these cables are used, at which end?
No idea, sir. No idea about
Okay.
that.
So generally DCE is the ISPs, in the ISPs, the device that is in the ISP's end, that like the last device that we get from the ISP is the modem. Okay, maybe
Okay.
it's a modem, or maybe it is a CSU or DSU or MCU device, which is the
Okay.
last device that comes to our premise from the ISP. That is the last device.
All
Now
right.
after that we connect our router or maybe firewall or whatever devices we connect with that device. So DTE is a data terminal equipment. It refers to the customer ends equipment, that is the router or firewall or maybe some server. So all the
Okay.
customer ends equipment are termed as DTE, and the ISP's last equipment is termed as DCE. Okay, so since
Okay.
here this router is of the head office end, so maybe we can take this DCE. I'm clicking on this DCE, and so let's say I'm the system administrator of the head office. Okay, so
Hmm.
in that case my router is my local router, and these are all WAN routers. Branch 1, branch 2, and branch 3 are WAN routers.
Okay.
So in that case I'm taking the DCE connectivity, and I'm clicking on here. I just need to check the port once again. AC 1 by 0, AC 1 by 0. So I need to connect AC 1 by 0, 1 by 0 with branch 2 AC 1 by 0. Okay. So similarly again I am taking another DC, and again
Mhm.
Here, as per the diagram, it is AC 1 by 1. So I need to connect AC 1 by 1 with AC 1 by 1 of the branch 3 router. Okay, so this is the WAN connectivity. Now for local LAN connectivity, like with the PCs,
Mhm.
so router and PC both are a similar type of devices. Okay,
Okay.
so we should take crossover cable or cross cable. So I'm clicking on a cross cable, and as it is given in your diagram, the FA 0 by 0 is connected with FA 0 port of PC.
Mhm.
So I will click on FA 0 by 0. This only Ethernet port available, because the other Ethernet port we have already connected with the head
Yeah,
office.
with head office.
So now I'm clicking on 0, and similarly I'm taking another crossover cable, and again FA 0 by 0 is connected with the single fast Ethernet port available with the PC.
Mhm.
Similarly, for this FTP server also, I'm taking another cross cable, and I'm connecting FA 0 by 0 with FA 0. Okay. Now, once the connectivity is done, you can see every link is down.
Yes. Yeah.
Why it is down?
Because we have not set the IP address and we have not turned it on. It's
Absolutely,
an yeah.
absolutely wrong answer.
Okay.
The thing is, all the other models of routers that are available in this packet tracer,
Mhm.
like it's not about all the other models. Uh, yeah, if I take this 4331, if I put it here just for demonstration. So if I, can you see I have taken one
Mhm.
4331.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I double click on it and if I zoom in, so you can see it is powered on, right?
Yes.
The green light is
Yeah.
there, and the CLI is getting ready.
Mhm.
Okay, but these model, if I click on any of this router, if I click on this router, if I zoom in, these are powered on.
Okay.
All these particular model routers are powered off in packet tracer. Okay, so that is the first reason. But even if we power it on, then also the link will be down. That reason, maybe you know, or maybe I have to discuss. So here you can see it is powered off. If I click on CLI, I am getting a message, device must be powered on,
Mhm.
right? So this
Yes.
is the basic problem maybe you are facing, for which you are not able to connect. So you have to power on all these routers. The first thing you have to do is power on all these routers manually. So you have to click here, zoom in, and power on. This is the branch 3 router. Zoom in and power on. And again, this is the head office router. So here also we have to zoom in and power on. But then also the links are not going up. Okay,
Yeah.
they are still down. What is the reason? Any idea?
Because we have to give the use that command as no shut after
Yeah,
assigning the IP.
no shut is used for what purpose? What is the purpose of no shut?
Like we use that after assigning the IP addresses for enabling the ports, I guess.
Correct. The main purpose is to enable the port. So here is a fundamental theory that the switch, layer 2 switch or layer 3 switch that we buy from the vendor like Cisco,
Mhm.
so all the Ethernet interfaces are by default enabled from the manufacturer. When
Okay.
we unbox a switch from a new box packing,
Mhm.
so all the Ethernet ports of a layer 2 or layer 3 switch are by default enabled. But whereas in case of routers, the Ethernet ports are always disabled from the manufacturer. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so the first thing you have to do is enable the interfaces, and getting a link up doesn't have any relation with IP assignment. Many people have
All right.
this notion, have this wrong idea or wrong conception that until and unless they put some IP address, until and unless they configure something on the interface, the link will not up. That is a wrong information or a wrong concept that they are having. The thing is, protocol always gets will be in a connected or up status if you have powered on the other end router, and if the interface is enabled, then protocol will automatically be up. You
Okay.
will not be able to communicate with the other end because you don't have assigned an IP address till now. That is the reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
Understood.
link will always be up without any IP address also. If the other end device is powered up, and if the other end device interface is powered on and enabled, if it is in enabled mode, because generally all the Ethernet interface of the router are in disabled state. So if they are enabled state, and if you are connected, and if the other end router is also powered on, then definitely protocol will be up even if you don't have configured any IP address till now. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so the first thing is we need to enable. So you know how to enable, right?
Yes. Yes.
So do you enable it with the command, like since you are in a company, so definitely you enable it with the command, like.
Yes. Generally, we do it with the commands only.
But in packet tracer there is a shortcut way also, you know that?
No, not really.
Okay, the shortcut way is just go to the router, and though it will not help you in learning Cisco, but it is a shortcut way by which you can enable any interface. You just need to click on config, and
Okay.
here if you click on any of the interfaces, in the right
Okay.
hand
Okay.
side corner there is a on button. Can you see this?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So if you just check this on button, it automatically executes the no shut command. Can you see here
Yes. Yes.
in the lower part the no shut
Yeah.
command has been enabled? So since I am in the headquarter router, so I need to enable FA 0 by 0. Let me check what are the interfaces. FA 0 by 1 and AC 1 by 0, and another is
AC one by one, I think.
AC 1 by 1, 1 by 0, and FA 0 by 1. AC 1 by 0, 1 by 1. Okay, so 0 by 1 we have enabled, 1 by 0, 1 by 0 powered on, and 1 by 1 it has also been given as no shut command. So similarly we need to enable all the interfaces of the other routers also, like here the branch 2, it is connected with 1 by 0, and the LAN interface is FA 0 by 0. So 1 by 0, FA 0 by 0. So branch 1 is FA 0 by 1 and FA 0 by 0. Okay. Similarly, the branch 3 also, it is AC 1 by 1 and FA 0 by 0. So, okay, FA 0 by 1. Yeah, so all the links are up, right? Now you have to configure the IP addresses. So, so you know how to configure IP address, right?
Yeah.
So for headquarter, FA 0 by 1 should have. Now, do you understand this slash 30? What does this slash 30 means? Hello.
It's a subnet mask.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a subnet mask.
but when we type down or when we configure a LAN card, like if you
Yeah.
configure, if I ask you to configure this in the LAN card of your laptop or desktop, how will you configure? Will you write 30 or you will write a full subnet mask like
Yeah,
255,
yeah, full
255
subnet
something?
marks. Yeah.
So what is the value
For
of 30?
255, 255, 255, 252.
Correct. So 3 times 255 and then 252. So for FA 0 by 1 also I have to configure that. So I'm not going with the command line. If you wish,
Yes,
if
sure,
you
no
want, I
problem.
can show you the command line because I know you know how to add IP address,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
So
yes.
that is not the thing that we need to learn here. So assigning 1.1 to FA 0 by 1 and 2.1 to AC 1 by 0. AC 1 by 0. Just we need to change the subnet mask to 52. Okay. And the last one is AC 1 by 1. It should be 3.1. AC 1 by 1. So right now, your shift is over, or your today is your off day.
No, no, it's just, got over at 7:30.
Okay, so you are having a fixed shift, or you are having some rotational shift.
Fixed, fixed,
Okay,
fixed.
fine. So we have configured three of the interfaces in the head office router. This is 1.1, this is 2.1, this is 3.1. Can you see
Yeah.
this?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So similarly, I will configure the branch 1. For branch 1, FA 0 by 1 is having 1.2. And the subnet mask, you have to maintain it. If you don't maintain the subnet mask properly, it could create issues. So this is 1.2 and the LAN interface will be 10.0.0.1. In the LAN interface, they have used the subnet mask /24.
Yes, so it would be 255, 255, 255.0.
Dot zero. So by default, this 10 series IP, it comes under class A IP address.
Plus.
So that's why when I have written the IP, you can see the subnet mask automatically has come as a class A subnet mask. So I have to modify it.
Classes. Yeah.
I have to modify it to class C. So they are actually using classless IP addressing scheme here. So that's why they have modified the subnet mask. So I'm done with the branch one. I have to do the same with branch two also. For branch 2, it is AC 1 by 0. AC 1 by 0. And for LAN, it will be 11.0.0.1. And subnet mask will be 255.255.0. So the last one is the branch 3. So it is AC 1 by 1. Since the image was not clear, it might make you confuse. So that's why it's better if you write the IP address in a notepad. That will help you.
Okay, okay.
So I have configured this one, and fs 0 by 0 12.0.0.1 uh, subnet mask. Okay. Now the thing is, this PC1, this is PC1. So its IP, as
Hmm.
it has been shown here, it is 12. Sorry, it is 10.0.0.2, and PC2 IP is 11.0.0.2, and FTP server is 12.0.0.2. So this is 10 network, this is 11
Yes.
network, this is 12 network, and the last
Yeah.
host is 2 in all the cases. So I will
Hmm.
just configure the PC here. So and do you know what we need to configure in this PC other than the IP address?
Hmm. No, no.
Along with the IP address, you definitely need to configure a gateway. If you don't configure a gateway in these PCs, the package will not move to the other network. Okay, they will not get
Yeah, yeah.
forwarded to the
Okay.
other network, because whenever you need to communicate with the FTP server, because that is in the other network branch 3, which is
Hmm.
network
Yes.
12. So you need to provide your default gateway, and default gateway is nothing but your local router's LAN IP. That will be your default gateway.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
here, as you can see, this PC is 10.0.0.2. So the local router here, its local IP is 10.0.0.1. So that would be your default gateway.
10.0.0.1.
10.0.0.1 will be your default gateway. So I'm just putting this default gateway here. And there are two options. One is IPv4 default gateway, one is IPv6. We are not configuring in IPv6, so we will configure it in the IPv4 part. So 10.0.0.1. So if I keep up my mouse cursor on the PC, so it is having the IP and it is also having the gateway. And you can check also
Hmm.
whether the communication is perfect or not just by pinging your gateway. So even in the actual
Okay.
physical network also, we check the network connectivity. Whenever we have some
Hmm.
trouble connecting to the remote side, or whenever we are having a trouble connecting to the internet, the first thing we need to check in the desktop is whether the IP address, subnet mask, and gateway is properly configured or not. And the second thing is whether you can ping your gateway or not. That is the first thing that we need to check. So in the command prompt, you need to check and see whether you can ping your gateway or not. So gateway is 10.0.0.1, so I can ping my gateway. Okay.
Hmm.
So at this moment, if I try to ping the FTP server, which is 12.0.0.2, so I will not get any reply. The reason is the IP routing part is still pending.
Yes,
We
yes.
need to configure the IP routes. So, so similarly, I need to configure this PC2 also. So here the IP is 11.0.0.2. Subnet mask is 255.255.0. Gateway is 11.0.0.1. That is the local router's LAN IP. Okay,
Yes.
and you can check the connectivity, because if you cannot access your local gateway, then you will not be able to communicate with the remote side. Even if your
Mhm.
configuration is is correct in the router, still you will not be able to communicate unless and until you can communicate with your local router properly. So it's 11.0.0.1. So I can communicate with my local router. Similarly, for FTP server also, we need to
Mhm.
assign the IP address. So this is the IP address 12.0.0.2 and subnet mask class C. Gateway is 12.0.0.1, which is the LAN IP of my local router.
LAN. Yeah.
So this is the first task that was given. Connect devices as labeled and configure IP address is as labeled. So we have completed the first task.
Okay.
We have connected devices, we have configured IP addresses. So these 5 marks completed. Now the next task is configure static routes. Default route or default route is not allowed. So we need to configure static routes.
Starting.
So here, if you know routing, can you tell me what will be the routes here that you need to assign? In that case, definitely you need to keep this in front of your screen so that you can understand. So in the head office, the FA 0 by 1 is connected with this network 192.168.1,
Mhm.
and the branch office WAN interface is 192.168.1.2, if you can remember.
Yes, yes.
So you need to add a route for that. Now here is a little bit of quick concept that I would like to give. Like most of the cases, the trainers or teachers, they teach that since this network, this branch office 1 network is 10 series,
Mhm.
and branch office 2 LAN network is 11 series, and branch office 3 is 12 series. So that means in this branch office 1 router, you have to add at least, so what is your concept, how many routes I should add in this router branch office 1? If the PC from branch office 1 wants to connect to the FTP server, and if it wants to connect to PC2, uh, so how many routes should we add?
For connecting network 2, right?
Yeah, actually they have specified here the requirement is like the part number 4. They have said that PC1 should be able to ping, has ping access to FTP server. So that means
Okay.
uh, this PC1 uh, should be able to ping this server, FTP server. So PC1 IP address is
Mhm.
10.0.0.2. So it should be able to ping the FTP server, which is 12.0.0.2. Okay. So generally, so what is your
Yes.
concept? Do you have any idea what route you should add? As you told that you are done with the routing
No,
part.
no, no. This part is a little messy for me.
Okay,
This
fine.
part is a little messy for me.
So generally, like in most cases, I have seen that people add routes to at least 2 routes. One route for branch network 2 for this network, and one route for this branch network 3, because branch network 2 is a different network. It is 11 network, and branch network 3 is again a different network with starting with 12 dot something. So they add 2 routes in this router, but actually you don't need to add 2 routes, because in this router you are only having a single WAN port. If you can understand the logic,
Mhm.
it has one LAN port, that is the LAN side, which is 10 series network,
Yes.
but in the WAN side it is only connected with the branch, the head office router. right?
Yes.
Whereas if you look in the head office router, it is connected with three networks. Okay, it is
Yes.
connected with branch office 1, 2, 3. It is connected with three networks. So they have not shown the LAN part of this head office. There should be another LAN part, which is the local network of the head office. They have not shown here. It is not required to be configured here. But actually, this head office router should have a LAN network, definitely, right? So there would be
Okay.
another network which will be the LAN network of the head office. All the PCs or desktops that are there in the head office, they should have a local area network, and these are three WAN ports of the head office router. So the first WAN port is connected to branch 1, second WAN port is connected to branch 2, and third is branch 3. So here you definitely need to add three routes so that the incoming packets from the local LAN, which has not been shown here, which will come to this router, like anyone who is sitting in the LAN network of the head office, if he wants to access one PC which is in the branch 1, then he should uh, have a proper route uh, assigned in the router, in the head office router, because otherwise uh, it will not go to this branch 1. Instead it may go to branch 2 or branch 3, and the person will not be able to access the PC which is there in the branch 1. Okay, so in the head office router you definitely need to add three specific routes for these three different networks. But for branch 1 you only need a single route, because all the packets, even if you want to access branch 2 or branch 3, the packets have only one destination, that is head office router.
Okay.
You don't have any other gateway, you don't have any other way, you don't have any other route to forward the packets. You only have one option, that is you have to forward the packet to the head office. Now if the head office router is connected with branch 2 and branch 3, then definitely your packet will move, otherwise they will stuck there only in the head office. But in this branch 1 router, you only need to add a single default route. It is called default route. And do you know how to add a default route?
No, no.
Okay, so the syntax of IP route, probably you know, or let me. When we add a IP route, we generally write the command like IP and then route and then the destination network, right? So like if I am adding a route for the branch 1, so
Yes.
it would be 10.0.0.0, and then the destination subnet mask. So subnet mask, generally it is since they are using class C, so it is 255.255.255.0, and then you need to specify either the interface through which you will have the access to branch 1 network, or you can mention the gateway, and gateway is definitely, it would be the interface IP of the other end router's WAN port. So since I am trying to create a route for branch 1, so my gateway will be the WAN interface IP of branch 1 router. So my branch 1 router WAN interface IP is 192.168.1.2. So if I add a route in this head office router for branch 1, then I will add, so again I am coming back to this. So my gateway will be 192.168.1.2. So this is the way we add IP routes. Now I was talking about default route. Default route means you do not need to specify what is your destination, because you don't have any option. Like when we have internet routers, we don't know on which site we are going to access. Sometimes we may access google.com, sometimes we may access msn.com, sometimes ndtv.com. We don't know what will be our destination. So in
Mhm.
that case, we do not specify the destination. Like here I have specified the destination 10.0.0 network. So in case of internet routers, we definitely give a default route. This is called default route, where destination is unknown. So to define the unknown, we mention 0.0.0.0. So this is my destination, I don't know what is my destination, and the subnet mask is also unknown, so it is also After giving a space, again 0.0.0.0. So instead of defining a proper network and a subnet mask, in default routing, we use a zero network and a zero subnet mask to that is actually equals to any. When we use the word any, so technically it means zero network, zero subnet mask. Okay, so now I need to add my gateway. So here in the branch office, I can see I have one gateway, and that gateway is definitely the other interface of the head office router, which is connected with the WAN interface of branch 1 router. So the branch 1 router WAN IP is 1.2, so definitely its gateway will be 1.1, which is the head office router's fast Ethernet 0 by 1 IP address.
Okay.
So my default route will be 192.168.1.1. So now I can show you with the configuration that I have already done. Should I add the route? Will that help you to understand?
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay,
that
okay,
would be
fine. So I'm adding the route. So I'm in this router branch office 1, and I need to go to, again we can do a shortcut like here is a static, but instead I should show you through the CLI, that will be more helpful. So I'm in the privilege mode, and from privilege mode I need to go to global config mode. So that is conf t, and here I am in the branch office 1 router. So before adding the route, if I, okay, so to add the route, the command is IP space root, and then I can actually copy this, which I have written right now. So I can copy this entire thing.
According to the question, can we use this command because it's saying only static route we are allowed?
So default, okay, just a second. Okay, okay. So they are saying that default route
Default route
is
is not
not
allowed.
allowed. Okay, fine. So in that case,
The previous command we have to use.
yeah, so I think in that case we need to use this previous one. Uh, so as per the requirement, PC1 should have access to FTP server. So FTP server network is 12 series network.
Yes.
So they doesn't need access to the 11 series network where the PC2 is. So we will add a specific route. So for this it will be 12.0.0.0, and subnet mask they are using 252, 252, and the gateway will be the WAN IP of the head office router, which is connected with the WAN port of the branch office router. So this will be the route. So after we have added the route, we can save the configuration.
This we did in the branch one router, right?
This is we have done in the branch 1 router, and since if we ping somebody in the FTP server network, that is the 12 series network, to get the reply back, there should be a route in the FTP server network
Server.
also.
Yes.
Yeah. So for that, we are going to this branch 3. So in branch 3, I should add a route. For branch 3, we can add the root like 10.0.0 network with 252, and the gateway in that case would be, since this branch 3 router is connected with the head office with the 192.168.3.2 interface, so that means the gateway will be 192.168.3.1. Okay,
Okay.
so we need to, this would be 3.1. And if this route works properly, but actually it will not work right now because I have yet to configure this head office router. Okay,
Okay.
because packet will move to this router. We can try and check, like if I ping from this PC1. Yeah, I'm pinging the FTP server. So let's see whether we can get any reply or not.
Mhm.
Because the local N router has been configured with a static route, but the junction router here is the head office router, because with
Mhm.
that router we are getting connected with the branch 3. So we are we need to configure the head office router now. So for head office router, we need to add 3 routes for 3 networks. Okay,
Okay.
because this is branch 1, this is branch 2, and this is branch 3. So so this is actually the one that I have already configured. So I'm just copying it from there. Or for understanding, we can write like headquarter router. The first route will be for branch 1, that is IP space root, and then 10.0.0.0 network, and 255.255.255.252, and the gateway will be, I think, 1.2. It was 192.168.1.2. So the gateway will be 192.168.1.2. Similarly, for branch 2, it is IP root, and branch 2 network is 11 network, that is 11.0.0.0, and then 255.255.255.252, and the gateway for branch 2 is the WAN port of the branch 2 router, that is
Two dot.
192.168.2.2. So this will be 192.168.2.2. Similarly, for branch 3, it is IP root 12.0.0.0, 255.255.255.252, and it is 192.168.3.2. Three dot 4, that is the WAN interface of the third network. So if I copy these three routes, you can paste it together. You can give them singly also,
Okay.
or if you have the routes already copied somewhere, you can copy and paste it directly. So here, um, going to my head office router, going to the CLI, pasting three commands, and do wout. Save the configuration. Now I will again check that ping from PC1. So, so now we are getting the
Yes.
ping from the first PC, that is PC1, in the branch 1
To
to
the
the to the
FTP.
FTP server. But currently in this situation, even the PC2 will also be able to ping. So I can
Okay.
show you that if I go to PC2. So from PC2 also, since we have not created any access list till now, so even the PC2 can also ping the FTP server. Sorry, I think to check the configuration, we know the command is show run. So I am currently in the branch office 2 router, and I am checking that whether I have enabled the IP route or not. Okay, I have forgot to add the IP route. This branch 2 router, I have only added the IPs, but I haven't added any IP route, so that's why the packet is missing. Okay, so I will just add a route. So conf d, and so PC2, as per the requirement, PC2 has FTP access to FTP server. So that means PC2 should also have access to FTP
Yes,
server.
yes.
So initially I will give access to FTP server. Later on we will prevent certain services by adding access list by giving ACL commands. So the first thing here is, so its connectivity is with AC 1 by 0, and AC 1 by 0 IP is 2.1. AC 1 by 0 is 2.1. So the IP route that I will be adding here is, the gateway will be 2.1. So it is IP root and 12 network 12.0.0.0 and 255.255.255.252, and gateway will be 192.168.2.1, and then do the slot, and then I will check from PC2. So I'm again going to PC2. So branch office 2 so WAN and network is connected with 192.168.2. Series, and its gateway is 192.168.2.1. So the packet is reaching 2.1. Sometimes even packet tracer also creates a little bit of problem. Maybe it's not working right now. It will start working after a few minutes.
Okay, okay.
So the first requirement here was to have a ping. uh, okay, static routes we have added. Okay,
Yes.
so we can check it with each of the configurations. You can go and give a show run. So let me open one by one. So first I'm going into the head office router, and here we have just added these three routes. So static route is added. Okay, and similarly for branch office 1, if I go here, we have already added this route for the server network. And similarly for branch office 2 also, we have just added this route for uh, the FTP server network. And similarly for branch office 3 also, we can show run. So this is the IP route that we have added in the branch office 3 router. So all the static routes are added. Okay,
Hmm.
so we have completed the second question also, configure static routes. I have not
Okay.
added any default route. Earlier I was using default route, so we have added only static routes. Now the third is display neighbor. So do you know the command to show
No,
display
no, no,
neighbors?
no.
It is show CDP neighbor. So you can give this command in each of the router and take a screenshot and put it wherever. I don't know how you are going to submit. So if they need to put you some screenshot, you can go to any of this router and just go to the enable mode, that is the privilege mode, and there you give the command show CDP, and then if you write any I and then hit tab, so automatically the command comes show CDP neighbors and hit enter. So this is your output.
Okay, okay.
So you can give this command for each. If they are asking for each of the router, you can go into each of the router and you can give this command, and you can take the screenshot or copy it, whatever you want. Okay,
Okay.
show CDP neighbor, that is the command. Okay,
Okay.
so nothing to configure for that. Display the neighbors details using CDP. So I think since they have given 5 marks, maybe 3 4 routers, all the 4 routers, maybe you have to give the same command and take out the output.
Hmm.
Now the last part is write extended ACL. So ACL, you definitely don't know, this is the access control list,
Access control list.
and basically we do the general access control list till ACL 99.
Okay.
And when we talk about extended ACL, it start with the number of 100. Any
All
SEL list which start with 100 or 101, 100 to 199, this range is extended access control list number. Okay,
okay.
so there are specific commands. So let me first discuss. Only two commands are needed here. Uh, so in the headquarter router, head office router, we need to add access list. I have given the number 100. You can start with 110, 111 as per your choice. So I have just given the access list number as 100. And since they have asked that the PC1 should have a ping access, so ping in technical terms we call it ICMP. The protocol behind ping is ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. So this is the protocol that governs the ping command. So this is the command access list 100. 100 is the name of the access list number, and then permit, and ICMP is for ping, and source is 10.0.0.2. This is nothing but the IP address of the PC1 in
PC one.
branch 1 PC1. And the subnet mask, here we have used wildcard mask. Have you heard of wildcard mask?
Yeah, it's the opposite of the subnet one
Correct.
actually.
So we know the network that was there was class C network, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
class C network was 255, 255, 255.0. So I have made
Zero.
the
Yeah.
reverse one,
Mhm.
0.0.0.255. That's it. This is the way by which we add access list.
Okay.
Nothing special. And then either you can give this command host and then the target IP. So the target IP here is my FTP server. I
All
want
right.
to ping my FTP server. This is one way. Some people or some articles you will see instead of host, they have omitted this. So I just for understanding, I can write it in another way also. Control C, and the same command can be modified a little bit. Here you, instead of writing this command host, you can give the target IP and then the subnet mask. Okay,
Okay.
so that is one way, or otherwise the way I have added, you can add this host and then only the subnet mask, only the target IP. No need to mention the subnet mask if you are using the command host. Okay, so this is so in that case the subnet mask should be in reverse order. So again, we have to calculate for that's 252 in the reverse order. So I'm not calculating it right now.
Mhm, no
We are
problem.
just following this command. Okay. So I have added this command. Now the logic here is you can definitely create an access control list. Have you been trained in access control list yet?
No, no, no.
Okay, okay. So you need some time to understand it. Access control list is definitely it's a firewall thing. We
All right.
know there are definite firewalls in the network. Cisco also has Cisco ASA, Firepoint, FireEye. Even there are many large brands like FortiGate, Checkpoint, and many other
Okay.
companies which are very dedicated into creating network firewalls. But this is a small facility that is available in the routers, in the Cisco routers, as well as Juniper and other routers also, by which we can create a little bit of control over the network traffic by means of source address, subnet mask, and destination address, subnet mask, and service port number. Based on these three parameters, source address, destination address, and service port number, we can make certain rules and we can try to control the network traffic. But we cannot control the viruses. For viruses, we have specific devices and softwares. So that is a different thing. So here, so this is the command for ping that I need to add in the head office router. And since every packet is moving through the head office, as you can see in the diagram, even if the PC1 tries to access FTP server, the packet needs to travel through the head office router,
Head
right?
office.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have a direct connection with the branch office 3.
Mhm.
Similarly, if PC2 wants to have a FTP access, so that access also will go through the head office
Head
router
office.
because
Yeah.
they do not have a direct connectivity with the
Mhm.
FTP server. So all my access list I will configure in the head office router instead of distributed access list in branch office 1, branch office 2, and branch office 3. It is
Okay.
not required. I will
Mhm.
configure all the access list in the central router, that is the head office router, because packet is bound to move through this router. It has to pass through this router. So,
Okay.
so I will create all my access list in the head office router because it is my junction router through which the packet will pass through.
Mhm.
So I have created here. So I'm deleting this one for the time being. So I have created the first access list for giving the ping service to the branch 1 PC1, and the second, as you can see here, the last request was again from PC1. PC1 should be able to telnet headquarter routers. So here, though they have used plural number routers, but actually they have shown only one router. So the question is extended till the next line. PC should be able to telnet headquarter routers uses all the password as CG123. So you might uh, know that we can give some console password, telnet
Yes,
password,
yes, yes,
enable password, privilege password,
yes, yes.
all this password we can give. So definitely to have a telnet access, we need to have some password in the head office router, which we have not configured till now. Okay, so to configure this password, do you know the commands to configure password for telnet and for privilege mode?
For enable, I think it's enable secret, and then we have to give the password.
Correct, correct. So that is a very simple command, enable secret for the enable mode. And for telnet, it is the VTI command, line
Okay.
VTI 04. Can you see my notepad?
Yes, yes, yes.
Line VTI 04 and then password. So here, though it is not Cisco, in your case it will be shift CG underscore 123. They have mentioned this password. Okay, and even here also enable secret, it would not be class, it will be CG underscore 123. So these are the two commands that I need to enable in the head office router.
Okay.
So that is for telnet. Okay, so I'm just going into the head office router, going into the conf t and enable secret, and then shift CG underscore 123, and another was line VTI. So it was line VTY 0 and then 4, and then the password was password
CGM.
CG123 and login. So it is password shift CG shift underscore 123 and then login. So this we have done. We have saved the configuration, and now the access list part. So for access list, uh, as the requirement here is PC1 should be able to telnet headquarter routers.
Mhm.
So here the thing is how PC1 going to telnet into headquarter router. PC1 IP address is 10.0.0.2. Okay, and
Mhm.
it is connected to a local router whose WAN port is 192.168.1.2. The WAN port of the local router is 192.168.1.2. So definitely the interface that this local router will connect is 192.168.1.1. It will not connect
Mhm.
2.1 or 3.1 because these are for branch 2 and branch 3. Okay, so if a PC from this branch 1 wants to have a telnet service on this router, head office router, then definitely it will do. So have you ever accessed telnet? Do you know how to access telnet?
No, 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 no.
Okay, so telnet is a remote access protocol by which we remotely access some networking devices or maybe some Linux server or any type of server which is having a telnet service. Telnet and SSH, you must have heard of another protocol called
Yes, yes,
SSH.
yes, yes.
So SSH is very specific to Linux environment. All the Linux server have SSH facility. Windows doesn't have a SSH facility by default. So that's why in Windows PC we need to download a client software called Putty, or
Okay.
some people
Yeah.
use Terraterm. Uh, Teraterm or Putty, this type of software they download, and because SSH facility is not available in Windows by default.
Mhm.
So for Telnet, definitely if this branch 1 PC wants to have a telnet, so how it will telnet? It will write telnet. So the way we telnet is give the command in the command prompt telnet, and then the interface that it is having access to through its local router. So that interface is 192.168.1.1 and hit enter. So as you can see, as I have given, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
So as I have given telnet 1.1, so immediately it is asking for password because I have just now configured the password.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
giving shift cg underscore 123, and in the enable also it will ask for the password. So it is again shift cg underscore 123. So this way it can access. But now since I have not till now I have not configured the access list, so even maybe PC2 also will be able to access the console. Okay, but when PC2 will try to access the router console or telnet, so in that case his target will be 2.1.
Mm-hmm.
In branch 1 it was 1.1, here it will be 2.1. Okay, so I'm going to PC2, and here I'm 192.168.2.1 and hit enter. So again it is asking for password. So though it is not required, so now currently since I have not enabled access list, you can access the telnet from PC1 from PC2. But now I'm going to configure this access list. Here I am allowing, as you can see, the command is access list 100 is the access list number, permit is to allow, and since telnet has a service port number of 23. Are you aware of these service port numbers?
Yes, yes, yes.
So the service port number is 23. So the command is equals to, and since it is we know all the protocols broadly separated into two types. One is TCP protocol, another is UDP protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So 23 comes under TCP protocol. So that's why I have mentioned TCP. And the requester is PC1. So
PC one.
PC1's IP is this, and the wildcard mask for PC1 is this, and target is definitely here. Target is that interface. 1.1 is the interface which will be accessible from PC1's network, because PC1 will not be able to access 2.1 or 3.1. 1.1 will be the easy way to access the router, the head office router. So that's why I have enabled these two access lists. And once we enable these two commands, then the second thing that you have to do is this access list you have created, but you have to enable it on a particular interface. If you don't enable it on a particular interface, it will not work. So I have enabled it in FA 0 by 1. So you can check what is FA 0 by 1. FA 0 by 1 is so FA 0 by 1 is that interface which is connected with the branch 1 router. Okay, so since the packet is coming from PC1 which is in the branch 1, so definitely this
Mm-hmm.
access list has to be enabled in FA 0 by 1 interface. If you do
Okay.
not enable the access list in proper interface, then even after creating access list it will not work properly. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why this second command is interface FA 0 by 1. I have entered into the interface, and then I have enabled with this command IP access group 100 space in. Okay,
Okay.
so with this, so I can copy this thing. Going into the head office router. So this I have configured in that FA0 by 1. Another
Hmm.
one is required because there was a requirement that if the PC2 should have FTP access to the FTP server. PC2 has FTP access to FTP server, but only PC2 should have FTP access, not that everyone should have FTP access. Because a few minutes back I have shown you, if you can remember, that
Hmm.
we can do FTP from both the PCs, PC1 and
Yes,
PC2.
yes.
So that's why for PC2 I need to enable one more access list, and that is this one, access list. So I have given a separate number because this I am going to enable in a separate interface, that is AC1 by 0,
Okay.
because AC1 by 0 is that interface uh, which is connected to AC1 by 0 is 2 dot is connected to 2.1, that is branch 2 network.
Branch to network.
So that's why I have enabled it in AC 1 by 0 only. I have not
Yes, yes.
enabled it in FA 0 by 1 or any other interface. So I'm copying this.
So after running these three commands, will PC1 be restricted having the access to FTP?
Uh, See who
Because
is having okay. Yeah, PC1 will be restricted from having the access to FTP. Only PC2 will have
PC2.
FTP access. Okay, got it. So that's why we need to keep this one more access list command here. So we are all done. Now we just need to check whether the things are working or not. So first thing as per the requirement is we should be able to ping FTP server from PC1,
PC.
and we should also have telnet access to headquarter router from PC1. These two things from PC1. So first is ping to FTP server. So I'm going to this. Okay, we are still in the console, so I need to exit. 12.0.0.2. So you can ping the FTP server from PC1, right?
Yes, yes.
And the second thing is you need to do telnet to the
Okay.
router. So telnet was connected actually.
Hmm.
You could you see the telnet is still connected, or I can just show you the prompt so you can understand. 192.168.1.1, hit enter. So it is asking for password. So definitely If I give the password cg underscore 123, so the first and the third requirement is completed. We can ping
Yes.
FTP server and we can do telnet to the headquarter router from PC1.
Mhm.
Now the second requirement is